Today's guest is Andrea Cruz. Andrea owns a multi-million-dollar wholesaling operation. She's done over 500 real estate transactions. A lot of those have been wholesales, fix and flips, novations, owner finance. What were the circumstances that created Andrea Cruz?
I lost over $80,000. It was a flip. That was my first deal ever. I didn't know about wholesaling. I didn't know much about it. I just knew I was like, I got a flip. It was the worst nightmare. Anything that could have gone wrong on that flip went wrong. So it took me from beginning to end 9 months, and then I was pregnant the whole 9 months. A lot of things were happening to me at that very moment. Like, I lost money. I just had a baby. I wasn't sleeping at night. I feel like those growing pains really were building me up to prepare me to the real deal. We ended up signing up for the mentorship, which is $20,000. I asked my mom for the money, have faith in us, because she was like, I don't know, you just lost $80,000. But she knew too how I was. I'm the type of person, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get you the best of this. So she was like, I trust you, Andrea. I'm gonna give you the money, but it's your responsibility. If you lose it, you gotta pay me back. So we ended up doing the mentorship. Once we did the mentorship, that's where everything changed for us, because they taught us about how to do systems and process and how to really build an operation. And after 6 months doing it, we hit our first 100K month. I was blown away. Like, I even cried, because I'm like, dude, we went from losing the 80,000. I wanted to get it back.
Most people, if they would have lost $80,000 on the flip, would have quit immediately. What kept you going? Welcome to another episode of Pick Up the Phone podcast. My name is Josue Llanas. I'm the CEO of Vancom.io. I specialize in helping companies scale their business with marketing, sales, and artificial intelligence. Today's guest is Andrea Cruz. Andrea owns a multi-million-dollar wholesaling operation. She's done over 500 real estate transactions. A lot of those have been wholesales, fix and flips, novations, subject to owner finance. And a lot of those have been virtual, right? So
yes,
I'm excited to talk about all that. You have a successful coaching business, so you have a lot of stuff going on, Andrea.
Yes, yeah. I do. And I love it. I like to keep myself busy.
Yeah.
Keeps me away from trouble.
That's right. I've known you for a long time, Andrea, so I think it'll be, I don't think I've ever had the chance, or maybe, the chance to sit down and really talk about your story. So that's what I'm really excited about today. Let's talk about, how you got here. I mean, it seems like you have a lot going on. You have a lot of success going on. But now, most importantly, what were the circumstances that created Andrea Cruz? Where are you from? Are you from Houston? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm born and raised Houston, Texas.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before I was even in real estate, I had a hairdressing company.
Really?
It was a studio, right? I started off as a hairdresser. As soon as I graduated from high school, I worked for a salon in the Rice Village. So it was a really good area. And I worked there for 6 years. And then I kind of ventured on my own. And I opened my own studio, and I started doing hair from there. And I did that for another 6 years. But I started thinking, like, I like my freedom, right? I've always been the type of person that I've always liked to add value. Like, I've always liked to learn of ways on how I can improve myself or my services.
Yeah.
So I came across the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that's where I realized that I was in the wrong quadrant. Even though I was an entrepreneur, but I owned the business, pretty much owned me. It was like a job.
It was a job.
Yeah. I had to.
How old were you at the time, Andrea?
When I went on my own, I was 26.
26?
Yeah, I was 26 years old.
Yeah.
And it was a scary jump, because I went from a very high-end salon where they offered all these different services to literally going to a room it was in a nail shop. So I rented a room there.
Wow.
So it's like I took all my clients from like this nice, luxurious place to like a room. So it was a hard thing for me to do, but I'm just like the type of person where I like to mess around and find out, and, people would tell me like, oh, you're going to lose clients. You're going to, like all the things that whenever you're about to open your business, that they'll tell you, hey, you got to now do this on your own. Now you have to get your own products. But to me, it just made more sense because I get to, I was like, I'll get to create my own hours and work whenever I can. So I did it. I did it. And yes, I did lose a lot of my clients, but I offered a really good service. So a lot of them stayed, and,
Yeah.
and then from there, once I started making money, I jumped into a better studio,
Got it.
more high, like
Right.
it worked a lot better.
Yeah.
So, but I started slowly. And if you ask me, I'm so thankful I did that. I'm so glad that I am that type of person where I don't let other people's fears kind of like project what I'm going to do, because when you're going to do that, like a lot of people are like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
They make you second guess yourself.
Right.
So, betting on myself has been one of the biggest blessings, because it's kind of like, when people tell you something, it's coming out of them. Like
Mhm.
that's what their
They're
capabilities,
projecting.
right?
They're projecting their own insecurities,
Exactly.
their own thoughts, their own emotions, their own feelings, their own experiences.
Ex-
But it has nothing to do with you and the superpowers that you have and the abilities and the skills that you have. So, yeah, kudos to you for being able to make that jump.
yeah.
A lot of people don't understand how important it is to read some of these impactful books. Like Rich
Mhm.
Dad Poor Dad is a huge one that also had like a lasting impact for me. It completely changed my life. So it sounds like the same for you.
It did.
Yeah. So
It
you did
did.
you were working as a hairdresser. You were doing hair, and then
Mhm.
you opened up your own studio. You
Th-
finalized. You went to a bigger studio. When did you get into real estate?
So right after that, that's when I got in. Right in when I went into the second studio, I had talked to a friend of mine who had, because I had money saved, right? I had money, and I was like, I really want to invest it. I just didn't know where,
Mhm.
and I was even thinking of opening my own salon, like a pretty big whole, like everything, massage and everything. So I had talked to him, and he had told me the idea of flipping, right? Of like, hey, I'll borrow your funds, and you can let me borrow 'em, and I'll give you some money off whatever I do. So I have never heard of investing in real estate until he had brought that up. He just said, "Hey, I'm looking for funds."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Flipping, huh? What happens there?" And he's like, "Oh, you just find a property that is distressed, and you fix it, and you sell it for a higher profit."
Mhm.
And I don't know, when he told me that, I really just like it something clicked in my head. I was like, "Oh, I need to really look into it." I didn't look into it at the time, but then that's when I started. I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, because it talks about investments. And once I read that book, that's when I realized, I said, okay, I have to do something for my retirement, because as a hairdresser, I was the only one making money. If I didn't show up,
Yeah.
there was no money to be made. So I
Right.
realized I was in the wrong quadrant. So then that's when I started looking into real estate. I read the book, and then after that I signed up for their seminar, the Rich Dad and Poor Dad
Oh, you
seminar.
went to that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And then that's whenever they were pretty much like, you find distressed properties, and I started really looking into it. And
Mhm.
then I started going to network events. I like started to meeting more people
What year
on.
was this?
That was in 2015.
2015. How old were you at the time?
2015. I was 2015, like 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So what? I'm 30. I was 30.
You were 30.
Yeah, I was 30.
Wow.
I was 30 at the time, and I had 3 kids.
Mhm.
So I started going to events, but I met this guy who was like, "Hey, I gotta," he worked at Net Worth,
Yeah.
and I had told him, and this is a tip: never tell people like, "Oh, I got all this money, I'm trying to invest it.
Yeah.
Like, can you help me?"
Don't ever tell people that.
Never,
Yeah.
never. That was my biggest mistake. But because I'm such a person, like I want to hurry up and get things done.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to meet and connect the right people. So he got me a deal, and I ended up closing on it. It was the worst nightmare of a deal. I lost over 80,000. It was a flip. Yeah, that
Holy
was my
cow.
first deal ever. I didn't know about wholesaling. I didn't know much about it. I just knew, I was like, I got to flip.
Yeah.
And the way I'm going to learn is like me messing around and finding out. So and some things do work for your advantage, and some things you're just going to have to learn the
Yeah.
hard way.
But you went into this flip with no mentors,
No.
with no guidance,
Nope.
no one telling you what to do.
Nope.
You just went blind in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
crazy.
I know.
You're insane.
I am.
Yeah.
I know. I am. I am.
I mean,
And
but kudos to you too, because most people would be like, "I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that, right?" And so at least you were brave enough to make the leap and learn from your mistakes, right? most people, if they would have lost $80,000 on the flip, would have quit immediately after
Oh
that,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
what kept you going?
Well, because I'm the type of person, like when I lose, I get like upset. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go back out and try it again,
Yeah,
because I also realized everything I did wrong. Like that flip taught me, that
everything you
was
needed to know.
everything I
It
needed to
was
know.
you paid an $80,000 worth of education,
Yes.
real world education, doing a flip.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And another thing I thought, well, I had the worst case scenario already happen to me.
yeah,
What else could go wrong?
right.
Right? So that was like one of the things that I kept telling myself to make myself feel better, because I felt like crap.
Yeah,
I felt like a failure, and not only that, I had just had a baby. While all that, like a lot of things were happening to me at that very moment. Like I lost money. I just had a baby. I wasn't sleeping at night. And so I feel like those growing pains really were building me up to prepare me to the real deal. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
I figured, like, if I went through all this, like it was so much, like you lost 80,000, you just had a baby, you're not sleeping. I'm like, how much worse can this get? So my thing is, like, I didn't give up. I said, I'm gonna get myself situated. What had helped me too, that I made money doing hair. So it would have been a worse situation if that was my only income. So that was what helped me to get back up. But after that, I waited a little longer, because I said I don't want to flip. Like I was a little traumatized. But that's when I learned about wholesaling,
hmm
and I met Gloria, and we partnered up, her and I, because she knew more about the wholesaling. She was a little bit more experienced
hmm
on that aspect that I was, but I had a lot of the work ethic. So I was like, tell me, what do I need to do to get it done? And so she did. And so I would go out there and on appointments, she would pull the list, she would give me the data, I will call the leads. And that's how I was able to learn about wholesaling, because I was like, oh,
when was this?
that was in 2017.
2017.
In
Got it. Were
2017,
you part of the
Rafael Vargas,
yeah,
yeah.
the mastermind?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So after that is when we
Yeah.
saw that they were putting up a show, like a event for
Right.
virtual wholesaling. I never even knew a virtual.
Yeah.
It never even dawned on me to do virtual like I was like,
Same.
how are they even doing this?
Right. And
So
once you do it, it's just like so simple, right?
I
It's like,
know.
oh wow, that wasn't that hard.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah.
But when we went to their event, we ended up signing up for their mentorship, which was
Yeah.
$20,000, and I was really like in a bind already, because I had already lost this money. So it was another thing where you kind of had to bet on yourself. So I asked my mom for the money, and I said, Gloria and I, we're gonna pay you back. Like, have faith in us, because she
Yeah.
was like, I don't know, you just lost 80,000. But she knew too how I was. I'm the type of person, if you give me what I need, like, you can trust me. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get you the best of this. So she knew how I operated. So she was like, I trust you, Andrea. I'm gonna give you the money, but it's your responsibility. If you lose it, you gotta pay me back.
Yeah.
And so she knew that if I was to lose that money, I would find a way to pay her back,
hmm
even if it was even me having to pay her back all my life or whatever. So she trusted me. So we ended up doing the mentorship.
hmm
Once we did the mentorship, oh, that's where everything changed for us, because they taught us about how to do systems and process and how to really build an operation.
Right.
Because before, we were doing spreadsheets and we were calling from our phone. We didn't have a CRM.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have nothing at
Yeah.
all. Like, we
Yeah.
were just doing it however we could.
Provides a lot of structure for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And after us coming back, I mean, we were working for hours trying to set up, all of the,
Podio back in the day. It was
Podio. Then
Yeah.
we were doing cold calling, because we weren't doing cold calling then. Hiring VAs,
hmm
setting up Podio, setting up Call Rail, because they had all these different softwares that they were using to build this operation.
Yeah.
Like, now it's so much easier than it was before,
It's
because
a lot easier now.
it is.
Yeah.
So we had to learn about the software, set them up, pull the list, do the marketing, go, so it was a lot, but we did it. And after 6 months doing it, we hit our first $100K month,
Nice.
which when I tell you, I was blown away. Like, I even cried, because I'm like, dude, I went from losing the 80,000, and I wanted to get it back. So like, now I was like, yes, like, we're profitable now,
Yeah. So just so I can get the storyline right in my head. 2015, you did your first flip, right? You buy it. How long did it take you to do it?
9 months.
It took you 9 months to flip a house.
Yep.
How big was it?
It wasn't that big, but it was so messed up all the time because we
And you
like
didn't have
our
the right
contractors.
contractors, the wrong
No,
contractors. Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
screwed me over. They left the man. I'm telling you, anything that could have gone wrong on that flip went wrong.
Yeah.
And so it took me from beginning to end 9 months, and then I was pregnant the whole 9 months.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling
Wow.
you.
That's rough.
It is.
You're a warrior for sure, man.
I know. And
Yeah.
I would cry because I'll tell God, like, man, God, all I'm trying to do is make money for my family. Like, why you have to make it so hard like this on me? But
Yeah, God's got to make sure you want it.
yeah,
God's got to make sure
exactly.
you want it bad enough, you know? So so you're pregnant through the whole thing 2015,
Mm-hmm.
2016 rolls around and you saw
2016, I didn't do anything. I was just kind of trying to get myself back together because I'm telling you, I wasn't sleeping, my
yeah.
baby. From all the stress I went from the flip, I didn't. My baby got it all, so she didn't sleep for the first 2 years,
Wow.
and it was when I'm telling you, I feel like I was going crazy. I was, but that's where I feel like a lot of my growth came from because
Right.
I still did what I had to do without no sleep. I was still showing up to do hair. I was still showing up for my family, for my clients. Even though I had all this tragedy happen to me, I still make that decision to show up,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's hard because
That's tough.
you could choose to dwell on the problem or you're like, well, let me do something about it.
Right.
And it was a hard decision to make, but I was like, no, I'm going to choose to do something about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that shows a lot of your character, you know, and how hardworking you are. But I think more than anything, it just shows a lot of courage. You know, a lot of people,
Yeah.
whenever it gets tough, they give up.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot.
And you decided to, hey, I'm gonna double down and I'm gonna invest $20,000
Exactly.
into something that only I can see.
Exactly.
Right. And because your mom couldn't see it, right? No one else could see it. Only you and Gloria could see it. And so
Right.
you guys made it happen, came back and started crushing it.
Yes, and we
Yeah.
did because we were one of the first ones from Houston to go get that mentorship, like to get set up like that, like
Mhm.
the cold calling, the SMS, the ring
Yeah.
list. No one was really doing it. I think in Houston they were just doing direct mail because that's what a lot of people knew. And so yeah, we came back and we were crushing it. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, we were. It took us only 6 months to hit our first, 100K month, and then like after that. I really like we were really proud of myself, but me more because if I would have given up right there and then, I would have never been able to see this
Yeah.
into light. So to me, it was like, and then I proved it to, my husband, my parents, because of course, when I took that loss, people, when you lose, they're kind of happy because they're like, I told you so.
Right.
So when I went back to do it again, they thought I was crazy, but it's just one of those things where you bet on yourself. You're like, I'm going to make this work because
Yeah.
I already learned from the experiences that caused my failure the first time. So I know what I not to do. So then when I saw that flourish, it was like, see, like I
told
was,
you so.
I was able to go back and
Yeah,
say, I told you so.
Yeah.
And now everybody wanted to be my friend again.
That's amazing. What a
but
great story.
yeah. But and even like my dad, because he always tells me, I feel that you have more balls than usual guys that I know. But it was an excitement moment for him too, because you're like, to watch your daughter, fail. And two, when I did fail, I didn't ask for help. I wasn't like, hey guys, I need money, I need this. Like, I literally dug myself in that hole and I dug myself out.
Yeah.
Like, however I could, without, having to say, hey, can I borrow this? Can I borrow that? Like, I made it happen to get myself into it, and I was able to get out without needing help from like, oh mom, well, I'm not able to pay for this now. Like, nope. And that's how I've always operated. Like, I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing, but I try not to ask for help and try to figure it out all by myself,
Yeah. Well, I think also, Andrea, you being a woman in a male-dominated industry, I think is extremely impressive. Everything that you've accomplished, and I think you're a walking role model for a lot of females out there, right? Because there's women out there that want to do better, right? That may be stuck doing hair, maybe doing something else, whatever
Right.
they may be doing. And you're here saying, "Hey, look, I failed. I
Yes.
lost money. I came back and I made it happen, and I created a multi-million-dollar organization." Like that is something to be. There's something to be said about that, right? And
Yeah.
I think you need to be spreading your word a lot more, right? So you can
Yeah.
impact a lot more females out there because they need to hear your story.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and that's why I'm doing a women's event next Thursday.
Are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I love to impact women, especially because I came from just with brothers, and I also saw like how they would treat women, and I always just felt bad for women because they were so naive and
Yeah.
just so I wanted to be like, hey, it doesn't have to be like this. I
Right.
came from nothing too, and I built something like I'm not saying you don't need a man. I'm just saying you can do it too,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and that's pretty much what my thing was. It start
I mean, even more importantly, sorry to
No,
interrupt.
no,
Um, that whole mindset of not needing a man, I think it's also like a fallacy because imagine if you do it with a man, right? I
exactly.
mean, imagine how much further you can go with the right partner,
I
right?
agree.
You could just like crush it. I mean, and I think your husband has been able to like help you out a lot
Oh
in
yeah,
business. I've seen him create some of your systems, create the ads
yeah.
that you
He's
guys are doing.
amazing.
And so because you have the right partner also, I would say that you've had a lot of the success, right? So
Yes.
I think that's also something that needs to be spread right now,
Right.
Andrea. Like I've been seeing this movement right now with females where it's like you don't need a man, blah 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 blah, and I think that's like,
Yeah.
why are you spreading that? That's killing families, right?
Exactly.
Like, dude, if you can just figure out a way to work it out with your man,
Right.
imagine how much further you can go. You know what I
No,
mean?
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I was very lucky to have someone that did support he did support me. He's a very he's behind the scenes like kind
Yeah,
of guy. Very we're
low
totally
key.
different. Very
Yeah,
different. But sometimes that's what you need. And no, he did help me out a lot on the systems. When I first started real estate though, I was kind of doing it on my own.
hmm.
He did come in. He came in the picture in 2021.
When you
But
went solo on your
when I went
operation.
solo, yeah,
Yeah,
when I was working with Gloria, it was just her and I, and
yeah,
then at the beginning flip, that was just me. But then yes, he did join. He said he felt sorry for me in 2021. So he's like, I'm gonna help you,
yeah,
because I'm tired. Because I'm really good in sales, but when it's the system part and like putting all that, I hated doing that.
yeah. Same.
So he saw me like struggling in the office, like, oh, I just can't get this. So that's where he actually quit his job to help me.
Wow.
And he literally came home to tell me, hey, I quit my job. I'm gonna go all in with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? No, like one of us has to have a job. And
Yeah.
but he's like, no, you need help and
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you. And
Talk
so
about a supportive partner. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that should be more of the message that us like with the success that you've had. Like
yeah,
I believe and I firmly because I'm seeing this movement, like this whole like, hey, you can do it on your own, girl,
yeah.
blah blah blah.
No,
And it's like, hey, that's great. You can do it on your own. But look at the flip side to that. What
yeah,
if you find the right person? What
right.
if you find the right partner, right? And I think you, Andrea, you have a voice. You
Yeah,
you got to spread that out and be like, hey, girl, like, yeah, you can do it on your own, but it's even better with a partner. It's
right.
even better because he's gonna help you out. He's gonna be down for you, and you guys are gonna go a lot further than if you would have just done it alone. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, and one thing about me, I never encourage the whole like, oh, I don't need a man thing because to me I think that's stupid. We all need a man.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, and men need females too. I mean, it goes both ways, right?
Right,
We need each
right.
other. That's what makes a great partnership.
And I will tell you because I do come from both parts of the side of what that means behind it because
Yeah,
what happens is I grew up with a Hispanic man and what they built is that thing where it's like they give you and they take from you.
yeah,
So that's where like a lot of these women I know because that's where I came from, where they're like, you know what, I don't need you to support me and then control me because the thing is
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
men that support, then they want to have control. So I do understand both sides of the view, but I'm not going to be one to say, girl, you don't need a man. You can do this on your own. Because having the right man next to you, you can flourish a lot better than you would by yourself.
1000%.
Yep.
Yeah, I firmly believe that also.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what a good combo there.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, let's move on. So 2015, you do your flip. 2017, you go to this mentorship. You crush it. You're doing a bunch of deals. Let's talk about those early deals from 2017 to 2021 when you had this partnership with Gloria. What kind of deals were you guys doing?
So the first year we did nothing but wholesales because we were, I was a little scared on doing flips. I was still not comfortable with doing that. And so the first year on 2018, that's all we did, just wholesales, no nothing. Then we started to realize that, oh well, then on 2017 we came up with that strategy net listing. Where we were putting properties. This is before even the word novation came in a part. It was, we would call it net listing.
Yeah.
We did a net listing and we're like, oh my God, we can put these properties on the market and sell them for more.
Yeah.
And once we did it with 2 properties, we if we would have wholesaled them, we were gonna make about 15K, and us putting it on the market, we started making like 35K, 40K
Yeah.
on deals. So we, as soon as we saw that, we started changing our exit strategy. So we started doing a lot of the novations. And then we started going into hoteling, right? So we're like picking up properties that were not really bad. They were just needed kind of like lipstick on the pig. And we were putting those on the market.
Were you purchasing them? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
On the hotels, we were purchasing them.
With
so
hard money or how?
yeah, well, really my mom's money.
Nice.
My parents were, my mom is my parents are still my private lenders, but at the time that's who we were using the money from. So we would buy one and then we will sell it and then do another one. So we weren't doing them like on volume.
It was
so
scalable.
Yeah. Well, because we wanted to use my parents, we couldn't use it on too many properties. So we would use it on the ones that we were able to, and then get out of it and then do it all over again.
Yeah.
But that's how we were able to scale. Was first we started off just wholesaling, then we started learning other exit strategies like hoteling, and then that's really in 2021. That's where I made the most money. We did almost 2 million, but we were doing a lot of novations, a lot of hotels, because that's when the market was so good.
Yeah.
And we were putting everything on the market. But that I wasn't with Gloria at that moment. That's when I was with George already. But that's where we made every exit strategy come alive. You know, we were flipping, we were hoteling, we were doing a lot of novations, and we were doing them in volumes. Like there was times where we had on the market like 10 novations on the market, you know, and they were selling because at that time everything was selling. You know, we literally put a freaking lot that was in the middle in the heights somewhere, but it was like a lock land. We sold that too, like things that you would like, man, I don't even know how you're gonna sell this. We were selling it. So
I've sold some things also, like just rural Texas towns. There's like a little city, like kind of like in close to Millen, Odessa, like West Texas. Random spot ever, right? Just listed on the market, sold it, made like 15 grand, you know. From something that I would have never been able to move had I tried to wholesale it or do anything like that. It was just like innovation. It's a listing, you know, just throw it up on the market. You're able to sell in just the most random places.
Right.
It's the best strategy.
I did one in Joplin. I never even heard of Joplin before. We made 40K on it, but that's because we put it on the market. And I love doing innovations. Like, I love it because there's no, like, you don't have to get a lender. There's no holding costs. There's no cost. You're just literally putting it on the market and waiting to get paid. So that's by far my best exit strategy, and that's really what has scaled me so much, is doing those novations. You know, been more profitable for us.
And I think something else too, that like for everyone that's listening to this, you know, what happened when, like, for example, like when a lot of people start, they're just wanting to do one thing. I only want to do fix and flip. I only want to do novation. I only want to do listings because I'm a realtor. I only want to do wholesales. And I think that's the worst kind of mindset to have in business because you're leaving so much money on the table. If that lead would have been a great fix and flip lead or a wholesale lead, boom, you could have gotten on a contract and made a ton of money doing that extra strategy right there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
So I think people need to know more of these extra
Yep.
strategies. And I think you call them programs for sellers. And I think we're going to get into that in a second.
Yeah.
Um,
That was in 2022.
that was in 2022.
Yeah.
How did you learn all of these extra strategies?
I pay for mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the net listing one, the Novation, well, we just kind of made that up. Like
Mhm.
we just put it on the market because they were net listings.
Yeah.
So that one we kind of just not made up, but we did it and we learned it, right? But as far as like the sub twos and the owner finance, I got a mentor, obviously Pace Morby,
Yeah.
to help me do that, and that's how I learned to structure them.
Yeah.
And once I started having, I'm like, okay, I had all the exit strategies in place. I started to, because I was in sales. I mean, like, I was the one doing the acquisition part. So I talked to the sellers a lot. So I started to think, I said, okay, each seller, there's only so many exit strategies and there's only so many scenarios they can have to help them.
Mhm.
So what I did is like I started naming all the different scenarios that they could have and
Mhm.
then how I can tie them with the exit strategies. So that's what I did, and I got this idea in the shower because I know I'm telling you,
Come on,
I
man.
swear I just said I'm going to do it in programs. And
Yeah.
it's funny
You're
cuz
right there doing your hair in the shower and like just like a
yes.
little light bulb just comes on, huh?
Yeah, and that's the visionary in me. I'm such a visionary. I get ideas like even the Operation X program, like that was an idea I got at church. So I get ideas and then I write them down because I
So
get them so vividly.
so let's talk about the programs then. Let's talk about all the programs and let's tie them into the extra strategies. What do you call the programs?
So for our cash offer express, I mean cash offer is cash offer express program. For our novations, we call them our premium listing program. For our regular listings is our platinum listing program. For our owner finance is called our rent to own VIP program.
Uh-huh.
And then for our sub twos is called the fresh start program. So
Got it.
all of them have different like that's what we name them, and then
Right.
we send them the packages on what we offer in that program.
Mm.
So for example, if a lead tells me, I have a house, I'm looking to upgrade, my house looks good, it's in great conditions. I'm not going to go in there and try to offer them our cash offer express because I know automatically they're not going to take it, right? Because I'm listening to what they have. So instead of me losing on that opportunity, I'm like, okay, well, it sounds like the platinum listing program is going to be a best fit for you because your house is in great condition. You're trying to get the most out of it. They're not in a very like a distressed situation.
Right.
So I'll offer them that program so I can at least turn it into an opportunity
Mhm.
versus me like, well, you're asking for too much because the person still needs to sell.
Yeah.
So like, how can I still help them get what they want with one of my programs? So that's how I tie them in based on the scenario that they're going through.
Mm.
If it's someone that's telling me I'm behind on my payments and I can no longer, then I'm going to offer
Fresh
them
start.
the Fresh Start
Yeah.
program. So, like you see, so everybody's tied into what they're looking for,
Right.
so
But at least you have a specific program per se for every sort of distress that someone has. And I
yes.
think that's where it boils down to. And you know what? Like, man, when it comes to stuff like this, it takes time to like hear the pain in the person's voice and then be able to know what the right exit strategy is for that person.
Right.
How do you train? I know you have like a coaching program. How do you train people to be able to detect or to be able to know what program to offer them right away? Is there like some sort of matrix that you use or some
Yeah.
sort of like, okay, if they say this and this, then offer this?
Right. Yeah, it is. First, I tell them they need to change their perspective. They need to not look at the seller as they need to be a problem solver. Like when you're talking to a seller, don't think like, how can I make money? Think, how can I solve this person's problem
Mhm.
and turn it into a win-win situation where I can make money, but I also know I'm helping that person. That was the first thing that I make even students and my acquisition agents to change their perspective on when they're talking to sellers. Because the problem is a lot of people think like they're looking at money when they're talking to sellers, and that's where they first go wrong. So
Yeah.
I listen to them. So like I mentioned to you right now, if a seller comes to me and tells me, "Hey, I'm looking to upgrade. My house is in great conditions." That's called active listening, right? So
Right.
I'm not going to go in there and say, "Hey, well, you know what? I can offer you 50% of what your property is really worth," and then they're going to hang up on me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. 'Cause they have
So
a great property.
right. So I'm going to be like, "Okay, well, they're looking for this. They're looking for market value. So how can I help them?" So I can help them by offering them the platinum listing, cuz that one fits in their program. If I have a tired landlord that comes in and they're telling me, "Oh, I don't want to have to deal with the tenants. I don't want to have to I do my rent to own VIP program. That's my owner finance program, because I'm coming in as just like a tenant. But
Mhm.
now I'm offering them where they don't have to pay for taxes. They don't have to do the landlord things, but they can still get paid as a landlord. Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's how I'm able to convert those owner finance with those tired landlords, because the way I pitch it to them, I'm like, you can still get monthly checks, but now you don't have to worry about fixing toilets. You don't have to worry about paying those taxes at the end of the year. You just worry about getting paid.
Right.
So then I offer them the rent to own VIP program.
Yeah.
And same thing with Novation. Just talking to them. If someone tells me that they're looking to get 150 and I see the property, I can sell it for 180, then I'm gonna pitch them the Novation, right?
Yeah.
Because there's room in there for me to do that.
Yeah.
But still better than the cash offer,
And you
because
still need to know, for example, for innovation, you need to know if you're going to have enough time to be able to list it on the market.
right,
Right now, especially in the market that we have right now in 2025, our market is shit. I
it
mean,
is.
the days on market are just through the roof. There's a lot of
Mhm.
inventory. It's not a good time for selling real estate right now. I mean, it's definitely a buyer's market.
It is.
So, yeah, I want to finish off first with the programs, and then I'll ask you what you're doing differently right now in 2025 to still be able to be profitable. What more can you tell us about the programs, like in terms of being able to teach that to individuals, and then like you said, the packages. How did you create those packages?
So on the packages, it comes included, like depending what we're offering, right? But like moving services, I offer that in my packages.
Mhm.
If they have tenants in there, we will help the tenants find a place. We will even move the tenants for them. We evict them too if they need to be evicted. So just depending what it is that they're looking for, we add the package on there. Like if they're telling me I have a squatter in there, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna give them a cash offer express package. I tell them like, I'll offer this, I'll kick them out, I'll evict them, I'll do this, blah blah blah. So it's just depending where they need their help on, and then we put our program package based on that, right?
Got it.
So it's just helping them on their needs, and then
Yeah.
we put a package together for them.
Yeah. No, that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Awesome. So 2025 now, what are you doing differently? I know you said that you had to do some sort of pivot in marketing, right?
Yeah.
Before you were doing a lot of calling, a lot of texting. What are you doing differently today?
Yeah. So 2024 was a really I think 2024 woke everybody up in real estate.
Yeah.
Like it was a scary moment, because everything that for all these years, when the way my business was operating and it was working, in 2024 it like all of a sudden just stopped. Like it stopped. The leads stopped coming in. The contracts weren't coming in as much. And there was a lot of regulations with cold calling and SMS. So I had to pivot from what I knew for so many years. And when I tell you, I had it structured so good, like streamline everything, to having to change it, all of it, all of it. And that was a huge, 2024 was a huge setback, I would say. Not in a bad way, but it was definitely a setback, because I had to think of like, how am I going to be generating these leads now?
Yeah.
Because they're not, cold calling wasn't working, SMS wasn't working. So you get in panic mode, like, okay, what am I going to do? So I started learning about how to do ads, inbound leads.
Mhm.
And that took some time, because when you're learning something, you kind of have to step back of everything you're doing. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn this.
Yeah.
And then I got into Go High Level as well. I changed my CRM. Everything I was doing before in 2024, I had to change it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to take some time off
Yeah.
and redo a lot of like learn the Go High Level. And let me tell you, I cried so many times learning that Go High Level.
Yeah.
Because it's not the friendliest to learn from, but now it's like, oh my God, it's so easy. And then also learn how to generate leads, right? Facebook ads. So, I took some time where I wasn't doing anything and I was learning this. But at the middle of 2024, once I got everything up and going, that's when I started to do the coaching program through the Go High Level. I learned how to do the ads. So the beginning of 2024, I was like on a standstill, like literally I left my office. I got to meet Jesus. Like literally a lot of changes happened in 2024 for me.
Yeah.
Like when I tell you a lot, it was like a lot,
How'd you meet Jesus? Did you do some ayahuasca or what?
No, no, no. You want to know how? I went to Boris's wedding, after Miami. Remember that Miami trip we took?
Yeah.
I after that I was just like, I want something different. I stopped drinking alcohol because I was like, I'm tired of feeling. I felt like I wasn't getting fulfillment,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I didn't like that. So I got baptized. I decided to stop drinking. I decided to get closer to God,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of help me. I was so lost. Like I didn't know what direction to go because, I told you like a lot of things had pivot and change.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do I do now? Like what was working for me for so many years, all of a sudden stopped working. So like, where should I go now?
Mm-hmm.
And by me doing that, that's where it kind of led to the whole coaching. Like, I was kind of being guided more from him than being guided from myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where like, okay, it was a lot of struggle though, like a lot of quietness. I stopped hanging around with everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't drink for a whole year. I literally was like me and him conversating like, okay, I was fighting my old self with my new self. That right there was just the toughest thing ever. And it's kind of like you're reborn again. And that was a hard part. But now 2025 was like my year of flourish. Like when I
Right.
tell you I went from 0 to 100,
Mm-hmm.
it was like 2024 was just like the growing pains. That's where I was pivoting, learning, seeing, trial and error, seeing what was going to be my next move. I got close to God. I reinvented myself. Was reborn again. So a lot of growing pains were in 2024. And then when 2025 came, that's where the whole coaching thing was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I don't even know what I'm really doing, but I'm going to do it because I was really in my heart, he had put in my heart to do. And when I tell you he like opened doors, it's just like bam, like
Yeah.
when you're walking in alignment, when things just start to fall in place. And I was like, okay, this is really where he wants me to be. So from there, I started offering ad services, the Go High Level CRM setups, and coaching my students on mastering their emotions, because that's really where I learned all of this, how to master myself while the noise is so loud out
Mm-hmm.
there,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we live in a world where it's so loud. It's so like
And everyone has opinions, preconceived
everyone, yeah,
notions.
people screw you over, all this stuff. People have things to say about you. They're criticizing you. Do it right, you do it wrong. You got your kids, you got your family. And so I had to shut all that noise out and really figure out what is it that I want to do, what
Yeah.
makes me happy, and what is it, what is my purpose in this world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what I found in 2024. And in 2025, I'm pretty much walking in my purpose.
I love that. I bet it feels a lot more fulfilling now.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Because when you do walk in it, it just feels in alignment with you.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't feel in alignment, that means you're kind of walking like you're being resistant to what God has called you to do, versus what he called. Because when he's calling you to do something and you do that, he will make it easy for you.
And it's so fulfilling. It feels joyful. It's painless.
It is.
Yeah. It's a much better feeling to know that you're on the right track doing what you're supposed to be doing versus, doing something that's not good for you or,
Yeah.
not entirely fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing I learned was this. We I grew up thinking hustle, 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 and that's not how it works. You don't have to hustle. You just have to be in alignment to what you're called to do, and things are going to open up for you
Hmm.
on its own.
Hmm.
Versus us like, oh, I got to work like 80 hours a week. If you're having to do all that to be successful, then you're not doing it the right way,
Yeah.
because God didn't put us in this world to hustle. He put us in this world so we can fulfill our purpose. So when we are fulfilling our purpose, hustle's not even in the vocabulary.
Yeah.
It just happens.
It's just easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, that's a great point. I think that goes very well in terms of mindset, right?
Yeah.
Being in the right mindset will really push you in business in the right ways. Um, but I think you're also doing the right thing by focusing on the right actions.
Right.
Like still coming in. I still see you here every day in the
Oh
office.
yeah.
Yeah, you're still, but it doesn't feel like hustle. It feels like, hey,
Right.
this is fun. You know what I mean? Like
It is.
because now work has become a part of who we are, and now it's just effortless, right?
Right.
To me now, I mean, if I go on vacation, like I'm ready to get back to work. I'm like feeling
Right.
antsy after like 5 days. So I'm like, dude, I want to get back to work. I want to get back
Same.
to talking to clients, talking
Yeah.
to sellers, everything. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So when you're in alignment, you're 100% right. Everything just becomes easier.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It really
So
does.
let's talk also about. I mean, you said you pivoted a lot in marketing, right? So what have you found to be working in terms of leads, right? In terms of generating leads now for sellers,
Inbound. So Facebook ads.
mainly Facebook ads.
Facebook ads, TikTok ads, anything on ads, it's
Hmm.
it's working.
Yeah.
Like that's the best.
What's the secret sauce for it? What is it that makes it work for you?
It's the offer.
The
The
offer.
offer that you put out there, the videos, that it catches attention. So I test a lot of different videos to see which one
Do you
is.
record yourself or do you do AI?
No, me.
It's
I
just
do it
you.
me. It's me because one video I put of myself has made me so much money. It's just me talking like, hey, I want to buy your house. People like organic stuff.
Hmm.
They know once it's generated by AI or if it's a real person. And one thing too is putting a woman out there, like a woman to promote for you.
Yeah.
That helps a lot
Yeah.
versus putting a guy, because I've tested it. I've done one with myself, and then I've done one where it's generated by AI from a guy
Hmm.
voice, and my woman voice is better. It's just it That's just a proven fact. You
It
put
just
a woman
resonates.
out there,
Yeah.
it's just you're gonna generate a lot more. People are gonna be more intrigued to click on it, especially if you put a pretty one out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Put a pretty girl out there.
Yeah, so I be pimping my own self. But it works. So the ads work if you have a very a good offer where people are not gonna
So
they're
what's a
gonna
good
click.
offer?
So I'm like, hey, you want to get the most you can out of your house? Click the like things that are gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna get the most, right? Or are you tired of investors, lowballing on your offer? Here we give you at 80, things like that. So that way they can just click, put their information, and then from there you just, you talk to them. But
Yeah. Yeah.
the offer is like something where you look and you cannot resist. Like, this is too good for me to like scroll up,
Yeah.
like, hey, I have this program where you're gonna learn how to generate $1 million for only $5.99.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that is what sells for ads. Is
Yeah.
your offer, how you put your offer out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. So in terms of, I mean, Alex Hermosi talks a lot about this, right? Having
Yeah.
$100 million offer. What would be the equivalent of like having an offer so good that people feel stupid saying no to it? What would that offer be in terms of real estate?
Be like, hey, are you tired of leaving money on the table?
Yeah.
Call us so we can make sure we get you all the most money you can.
Mhm.
Things like that are people are gonna be like, well, because in realistic, I have an advantage because I know how investors operate.
Mhm.
So I'm like, hey, are you tired of investors lowballing you? I know that's what they're doing,
Yeah.
right? I'm even the ones lowballing them, but it's just like on how you make that, right? So guess what? All of these distressed people are getting lowballed right now. So by me saying, hey, are you tired of all these investors lowballing you? Guess how many people's attention is going to catch? Because that's exactly what's happening out there. So
Yeah.
all the people that want to sell to investors, they're going to click on my stuff because they are tired of them lowballing them.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, right? That you can resonate with them on the pain points. You know, it's all about pain points and hitting all the right pain points when you're creating the offer.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And then after you do the offer, you send them over to a landing page. Do you create a landing page, or do you do the forms that Facebook has?
No, I do a funnel. I have a funnel.
Onto a
It's like a
funnel.
landing page. It's a
Yeah.
funnel landing page. So
Step 1, fill out a form. Step 2, more details.
I
No?
keep it simple. Just fill out the form. That's it. And then I call them back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then once you call them back, then you qualify them, and then you go through the whole program. So you go through your matrix. If they are distressed and in a rush, wholesale.
Right. Right.
If they're distressed and they need more time, you can do a fix and flip. If it's lightly distressed and they have time, you could do an ovation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
You can go through that matrix of if this and this, then that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes
Exactly.
sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And inbound leads, they're ready.
Yeah.
They're ready.
They are ready.
They're ready.
Yeah.
They're like, tell me what I need to do to get it done, because they're reaching out to you.
Yeah. One thing that I've realized is like with this, because people like you have gone away from cold calling, I have a cold calling company, and we're like crushing it on cold calling leads now. Like we
Nice.
are generating a ton of leads with cold calling. There's a lot of government regulations, and you need to know how to stay compliant with
Right.
with the governments, and we're able to do that. So
Yeah.
we're able to still
But
generate.
that's good that if you're able to help because for me personally, like I don't want to deal with it, right? But if you're able to help the sell, like your clients, like, hey, we'll deal with this, we'll keep you regulated, we'll have all this. I think that's a huge saver, because what happens is getting caught up in all that, figuring it out is what stops people from wanting to cold call. You know?
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
It's
a lot of work. I mean, we're talking about pulling data, skip
Exactly.
tracing,
Scrubbing the data.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
have litigators out there, so we scrub against litigators. We provide like relatives information too. So like if someone dies, we can skip trace, and we get like 10, I think like 10 or 15 different relatives. It's just pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just a lot of work, but we have fun doing it.
I bet. Yeah. Well, if you love it, you're gonna have fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of Egyptians out there making cold calls every day in Houston, so and all over the nation, really.
But I love VAs. I
Yeah.
have a lot of VAs that do other things for me, not
Yeah.
just cold call.
Right.
I'm all about having I
Yeah.
encourage people to get VAs, because there's other ways you do marketing. You can have them going into your Facebook posts, like, look, hey, send me deals, things. So there's other ways to generate leads that your VAs can help you in.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was your coaching program. You have a coaching program now, huh?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's talk about that.
So
what are you doing?
So it's my coaching program. It's called Operation X, from average to savage.
All right.
Yeah, because that's my whole thing. Like, I literally want to turn these people into savages,
Yeah.
because you need that. Like sometimes when I'm talking to sellers, or I'm doing this, they're always like, damn, Andrea, you're such a savage. I'm like, well, you have to be in this business.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be like, oh, okay. Like, no, like be about your business.
Yeah.
Know what you're doing. Like, show up,
Right.
no excuses kind of deal. Like, because a lot of people, it's kind of like you said, they have a little problem, and then they start like drowning, like, oh my God, like, okay, fix the
excuses,
problem,
yeah.
move on. Like,
Yeah.
don't get stuck there.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm teaching my students, is how to operate, how to set up their operation, and also master their emotions, because everything starts with emotions.
Yeah.
Like, every decision you make is all coming from inside you. So if you don't learn how to master that, then you're never going to master anything. So that's what I train them on. I listen to what the words they tell me. They're like, oh, but this is so hard. Oh, but this.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, you're already limiting yourself. You're stopping yourself when you
Right.
say that.
Right.
It's hard because you don't know it yet. It
Mhm.
won't be hard like this forever. So stop bitching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I tell them like that, because I
I
don't.
think you'd make a great coach for sure.
I know. No, I do. And I'm very hard on them like that, because
For their own good.
it is. because we are our own worst enemy.
We are.
We are. So once you start to realize that you are your own worst enemy, every thought I get, I ask myself, is this thought gonna help me be better, or is it putting fear inside of me? Like, is it making me second doubt myself? Like, what is it doing? Because if we are not aware of our thoughts, then we're on autopilot and we let our thoughts dictate our future.
Yeah.
But if, like me, when I make these decisions, I'm not second guessing if it's gonna work. I'm telling myself this is gonna work.
That's
You
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is no plan B. There is none of that. So I don't give myself room
Yeah.
for scarcity, for doubt, for none of that. So that's what I try to train them on, like, because they get scared. They're like, oh my God, what if this doesn't work? Or I'm like, no, if you're already starting like that,
It ain't gonna work.
it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So you got to be committed, and you got to say, hey, there is no plan B. I'm going to make this work regardless.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's the best mindset to have.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you said you've had already maybe some of your students that have done a Novation deal successfully.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is, because a lot of them, that's what they really want to learn, is the Novation, more than any other strategy.
Yeah.
I guess because it's so popular. Yeah.
Not only popular, but it's one of the most profitable ones.
It is, especially with this market.
With very little risk. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're able to sell it to an FHA buyer because the title's still in the seller's name.
Yep.
So I'm a big proponent of novations also.
Yeah.
When I first found out about novations, you were one of the first persons that I called about, and you taught me a lot about it also. And you know, like, whenever I have a problem, I always have resources, right? So
yeah.
if I want to learn something, I'm going to call this person and this person and this person and this person. And then just from the knowledge that I get from everyone, I'm able to formulate, oh, this is what I have to do now, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone should be able to do that. But you were one of them, and I really thank you for that, because
you're welcome.
I've done a lot of novations, and you're part of the reason of that success. So
nice.
Thank you for that.
So where should I send my invoice?
That ship is sell, baby.
I know, right? No, and that's what
party, girl.
And I love to do that. If I can add value to people to help them change their lives, like, that is where my fulfillment comes in, right there, So thank you. I'm glad, because I love that. When people tell me that, like, oh, I have people that they're like, I heard you speak about your programs, and I did it, and I got a deal. Like, I get excited because I'm like, yeah. So I'm happy. Like, that's where my fulfillment comes in, is just adding value into people's lives.
I love that. That's amazing. If people want to know about Andrea Cruz and your program, Operation X, or maybe they want to partner with you, how can they find out more about you? They can reach out to me on my Instagram, Andrea Buys Houses. Okay.
They can call me personally. I don't mind giving my phone number.
Yeah, throw it out there. What's your phone number?
It's 832-392-2801.
Yeah.
Hey, only call me if you have a deal. Please don't call me for no, I don't want to take you out on a date and kind of stuff. Because sometimes I do get some guys that be DMing me stuff. I'm like, really?
Dude, I got a husband, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I want that attention. What about emails or websites?
So for the website, it's www.theoperationx.com, and that's where we have all of our different products that we sell, because not only I do coaching, but I also do like CRM setups and then marketing.
Say the website again one more time.
It's www.theoperationx.com.
At theoperationx.com.
Yeah.
That's a website.
Yeah.
Got it. When you said at, I was thinking like the email at.
Yeah, right. Wait, hold on. At the operation. Wait, no, you're right.
Are you talking about your email?
Email.
Give me an email. No, give me the website.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's www.theoperationx.com.
There you go. All right. I wanted to make sure.
Oh my God. I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Well, this has been a lot of fun, Andrea. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I think this is going to be maybe part one of another podcast that we'll do. We'll have, based on the feedback that people give us, maybe we can talk about different subjects next time.
Yeah.
And we definitely need to do another one in Spanish.
Of course.
There's a lot of Latinos out there that need to hear this story too.
Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. I like it. My Spanish is not that great, but I can still get the message out there.
We'll get the message out. We'll struggle a little bit. We'll have ChatGPT here helping us out.
It'll be a little Spanglish in there.
A little Spanglish. It's all right.
Yeah.
As long as we get the message out.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Andrea. I really had a great time here with you today.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.